Blitzer. But the open bracket pays out prize money as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's go into this FanTaSy versus Dia. MC just got eliminated 2 by Hero, unfortunately. So that also just happened a few moments ago. As we get this ready to roll. I'm just wondering what might if I quickly check what might happen for my second PC game soon. Sue versus Keen, maybe? I think we'll probably wait just to make sure we get the team. Maybe we jump into like Tejalino game 2 or something. Anyways, guys, let's kick this off, and we do have to the bottom right hand side our red Terran player. This is FanTaSy. And to the top left hand side, our blue Protoss is Dia. So kicking this off and getting this going into this TVP, look to see what's going to happen. Reaper on the way up from FanTaSy as an SCV comes over into the natural expansion, getting ready for that Reaper expand. What I love is the fact we don't see any proxy or anything, because we've seen so many proxies in TVP the last few days. Really nice to get something just a little bit more chilled out here between these couple of players. So just going to be seeing that SCV coming in towards the upper left hand side. And that's going to come in, and we'll see that Nexus just about halfway done. Let's see if we're going to be pulling back in towards the center, and the Reaper coming across as well. We're just going to be moving around. Adept again, chilling out at the front as we see the Stargate dropping in from Dia. Factory drops in from FanTaSy. And the second rack's getting dropped down as well. That's CC about to finish on the natural expansion as well. And we do have the Adept just chasing that Reaper down. So Reaper getting chased away out through the top side and in towards the center. We see the reactor coming down from the barracks to get a couple of Marines on the way. And again, that factory going to drop in a tech lab. And again, just going towards a siege tank or so probably here early. I mean, tech Cyclone initially, then siege tanks is a very common way to go. But in general, the fast siege tanks with this build is very good because you eventually just hold the natural. Once you hold the natural, you have stim pack pretty quickly with the second racks, and you can actually build into a very aggressive push. We've actually been seeing a few Terran players yesterday, you thermal special. We're going for this bunker push where you essentially start pushing forwards with bunkers, and that actually walls off your siege tanks. The Zealots can't charge into them as easily, for example. And that is kind of a big deal, as we do have the Reaper and Marines coming in to protect those against those Adepts. Those Adepts definitely causing some early game troubles, but they should go down. They're pretty low on HP, and their Shades Away won't be on time. So that's a few SCVs killed, but that's about it. Reaper from FanTaSy going to be coming up through the center of the map. And we do just have the Oracle from Dia coming down into the middle as well. So Oracle coming down through the center. And we do have a couple of gateways from Dia just coming up on the natural expansion. Oracle just been patrolling around a little bit. Wouldn't mind burrows to the side there, and Oracle is going to have to turn away pretty quickly. Dia has been very well known for his aggression in PvT and just his kind of mass gateway style, that blink and the charge. He's very, very good at it. In fact, Dia's just been very good in general as of late, although maybe not great results super recently. In general, has been pretty good, as we are going to be seeing the Oracle moving out in towards the center. So Oracle into the center. Third Nexus drops down here from Dia. And the Reaper is from FanTaSy moving around here as well. Blink and +1 currently on the way up as the Oracle picks up that Reaper. A couple more probes on the way out, and a sentry currently coming in from Dia as well. So just warping that sentry, and there's these extra gateways from Dia going to drop down on the main base. And we have the Cyclone from FanTaSy. Also just moving around in the center a little bit. Couple of oracles coming across from Dia, heading down to the bottom right-hand side to see what's going on. And again, the Cyclone lock on, able to push the oracle away down to the bottom. Thank you for Flop and Doge for the 100 bits. Hopefully Dia has a clean series. Yeah, hopefully, obviously, I'm a fan of both these guys. It would be cool to see either of them advancing through to the next round. It's not even to the next qualifier yet, but after this, there's a best of 5 to play to see who advances to stage 2 of the qualifier. I think the winner of this is most likely to play Bunny. I can't remember who Bunny is playing. Either Zanster or Full Heart, so that's still being decided. That's something we'll try and get some info on ASAP. Well, just heading out in the centers. As you see these Marines in the medevac starting to move forwards. Cyclone locks on, and again the Oracle actually taking a lot of damage. Gets killed off there by that Cyclone. Pretty crazy. Well, FanTaSy pushing in. He never went into those siege tanks like I mentioned he could. Obviously he does have fast stim though. That stasis ward catches him. It's a little bit brutal as we see these units coming forward here. There's another stasis ward ready to go. Fire will come in and start a fight against a couple of those stalkers. The next stasis ward's going to go off. Oh my god. Does FanTaSy see it, or does he just not want to push that far forwards? I think he's going to get stasis again. A few Marines in the main base get a stalker or so, but not really all that much. So FanTaSy's aggression not working out too well yet, but he does have a third CC building on location. And actually just going to be seeing him pulling back through into the center of the map. Try and see what else might happen. The Stalker's going to fight against those few Marines. A little bit of damage being dealt there. A quick scan coming down. Is going to be seeing an Observer. Gets picked off there on the top side. So Observer going down. And again, just going to be seeing those Stalkers. Look at them just baiting something to jump on them with that stasis ward. Anyways, FanTaSy's going for a different direction now. He's going to get to the high ground already. So this is going to be Dia going to have to respond, and already going to be seeing the Immortal. Well, its shields are popped. The Widow Mine goes off on the Zealots, just goes down a moment afterwards, which is a bit unfortunate. Another Widow Mine targets the Stalkers, but they're playing backwards. Might have been better for saving something that couldn't just dodge away too easily. More Stalkers coming in from the right side. Widow Mine comes and wanders through. That Widow Mine just walked through like 7 Stalkers and didn't somehow survived. Goes off on another Zealot as these Stalkers being chased down. Some decent connections there. And as you see, that stasis ward actually expires. And that Stalker gets picked off. So Stalker gets taken down there. There's the Immortal from Dia on the way up. So that's being chrono boosted. Storm being chrono boosted as well on the Templar Archives. And we all have this, we still have this Bioforce from FanTaSy set up to see what will happen next. Again, Storm just coming through. If Dia can get up to that, FanTaSy will be in a lot more trouble. Until then, FanTaSy seems as though he wants to just keep on rallying forwards. But his army is just not good enough to keep fighting this. He's also down in armor upgrade, so upgrade advantage to the Protoss player. Not hugely different because a lot of the damage from Dia's army coming in from those Zealots. They don't get much of a chance to attack. Most important that they tank, but still, I mean, an attack upgrade is going to affect those Stalkers and those Immortals. And right now, Dia is just cleaning out. And again, the Stalkers, the Zealots, they're just a little bit too much. And with Storm about to finish as well, Dia's about to get a Prism. That Prism will lift up the High Templar, and we've been seeing this from most of the Protoss players lately. Prism in the High Templar, use it to kind of flank in with Storms and to drop in out of nowhere. And as we do have this army just moving down through the center here. And again, that Prism coming across down to the bottom right-hand side to see, well, they want to see what they can do. Stalkers actually blink in right away, though. And now we do see a force field coming down. Storms on the ram. And actually hitting a whole bunch of these units with those Storms. Well, that was quite nice. He's going to be seeing those couple of Zealots charging in. Picking up a couple more kills as well. Widow Mine's going off, but not doing too much. Zealots and Immortals still moving around. Orbital Command on the bottom side gets taken down as well. You'll see those couple of Marauders in some trouble too. And Dia, 122 supplied as the 75. Is looking very, very good at the moment. It's GG. FanTaSy had a little bit of an attack on the other side. To cast that, I'm kind of glad that we didn't, because that is actually terribly fast. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, well. To the bottom right side. Alright. Terran player here. Down a map is FanTaSy. At the top left, our blue Protoss player. we have got ourselves a deer. Alright, so Coronavirus coming down, getting going. And just seen a double gas opening here from DS. Already going to be opening a bit more aggressively than what we saw in game number 1. May still expand, but it will be the choice of a fast attack and usually will be Cybercore before expansion. So, yeah, taking up a little bit faster here for game number 2. Maybe afraid of a FanTaSy proxy as well. Cybercore coming down. So again, just speeds up the kind of rate at which you get that tech on the map. Saw a lot of fast Stargates from Hero the other day. So that could be something we see a little bit more of. As FanTaSy just moving in towards the upper left side. Try to see what he can get up to. So SUV just going to be scouting. Obviously, we'll see the lack of an expansion. So that's already pretty good information. So going to see that Cybernetic core coming in the back of the main base. And this SCV coming down the left-hand side as well. And just scanning around a little bit, seeing what's going on. Winner of this plays Bunny, by the way, in the decider match. It's pretty cool. FanTaSy just checking around, seeing what's happening. We see the Stargate has been placed down by Dia. Sorry, just trying to organize a match for my second screen. It looks like we're getting to Linux versus Cure. Perfect. So, yeah, SCV comes up to the high ground, and an Adept coming forwards is going to get this SCV. No! The lift into the load into the CC and the lift up. I love it. Obviously, FanTaSy's a little bit afraid. Now, there is an expansion down. That's what FanTaSy wants to confirm with this Reaper. Just to know that this isn't super all-in, and it is just some earlier pressure out of the Protoss player. So, coming in. And he sees an Adept, and he does see the Nexus. Okay, I was going to say, I wouldn't mind giving up the Reaper to see the Nexus or not, because that's huge information. And as we're going to be seeing that orbital command currently on the way up here. So again, that orbital command going. Meanwhile, we're just going to be seeing the factory with the tech lab coming down. The starport is on the way up. And yeah, just going to be seeing those couple of Marines from FanTaSy just chilling out on this main base. Oracle just chilling out on the top side as well. We do see this Adept just shading forwards. Depots will lower right then. Again, just the bunker going to salvage, and FanTaSy back down to the low ground. A little bit of an annoyance to have to pull that up there, but it was just a safety precaution. And again, I feel, oh, those SCVs don't get blocked in though. Again, it kind of, you know, is one of the benefits from Dia, you know, because you open aggressively, you do make the Terrans a bit more scared, and I think it is good to be cautious about that sort of situation and pulling back up to the high ground just to kind of stay safe. Two Oracles here from Dia coming down to the bottom side then, as we see a Medevac from FanTaSy is trying to move across. And we do see that Medevac going to start boosting right now, so Medevac going to start boosting to the top left-hand side. Actually going to unload onto that Oracle, so Oracle takes a little bit of damage as well. And all three of those Oracles actually going to be coming down here right away. So 3 Oracles going to be moving in towards the main. We've seen the Cyclone going to be taking a lot of damage. I mean, Triple Oracle actually just absolutely shreds units. Marines want to try and get down to that bunker. Oracles can still stick around now, one-shotting SCVs, of course. They can jump back to the main base where there actually isn't much to defend, although there we go. A Viking will be able to target down the one lower health Oracle. But this is still so much damage taken. Just punishing FanTaSy for being out on the map of those Marines. FanTaSy taking so much early game damage here. 7 SCVs, a Reaper, a Cyclone, and 3 Marines lost for 1 Oracle. Dia's having a hell of a start in this. As you see those 2 Oracles heading back towards the center, starting up towards the top left-hand side. and so on. And again, just going to be seeing the extra racks dropping down here from FanTaSy. 2 more barracks dropping down, so 3 racks in total for him at the moment. Again, with that stim pack on the way up, we can see the tech lab on the factory and the starport building a tech lab too, so probably going to swap their racks onto that tech lab and then go into tanks and bio upgrades basically. Well, the starport gets a reactor up and the medevacs will still be on time for when stimmer finishes so that he can start dropping around with that. Only a couple Marines load up there as they try and chase down the Oracle. Oh, it's hopeful. It's really hopeful, but it's not going to be enough. Engineering bay finishing as well, so FanTaSy can also go into +1 attack with his other upgrades that he's starting up. I mean, Stimpack's already on the way. Combat shield should not be far behind, just waiting for the gas so that he knows he can afford it. Phoenix coming down at the bottom side, gathering up those couple oracles flying around as well. This medevac going to get taken down here. It's like a full medevac that gets picked off. Lifts up that one Marine that's left over too. Move after move after move right now is just going the way of Dia. Everything he does just seems to be the right thing. There's going to be seeing Phoenix lifting up a couple of SCVs over on the left side of the main base. And, well, again, the Phoenix and the Oracles just going to back away through the bottom side now in total. It's going to see that Resonating Glaives +1 attack and 5 more gateways dropping down from Dia. So getting that going as the Oracle comes in. Throws down a Revelation on those couple of racks and the factory. So nice little Revelation there. We still have this set of units from Dia coming down, see what he can do. So, again, a bunch of Phoenix, 2 Oracles ready to dive into the main base. Lifts up a Marine, takes that down. Again, some SCVs now getting picked off as well. Good job with this so far as the Viking and Marines coming in to try and chase down those other units. And Dia just about able to escape on up. And is going to be able to just chill out the front. And still, again, though, we'll be looking for some more damage any second now. Boom. Jumps in and multiple SCVs already starting to go down. That's 3, that's 4. Revelation drops on the medevacs and the Marines as well. Robot facility and +1 on the forge coming down now as we see that blink. Starting up as well. So we've seen that Adept chilling out the front. And again, Phoenix Oracles just hanging around too. Revelation drops down on those few units at the front and stimming forwards. FanTaSy seeing what he can find. Dia hanging around on the right side. Bottom side we see those Adepts hanging out as well. Blink and +2 attack upgrade coming in here from Dia. There's going to be seeing that Viking is going to get picked off again. Just something else from FanTaSy that doesn't really go his way. He's on 5 racks, no 3rd CC. He wants to just push and end this game, but I think Dia's put himself in a good enough position where it's going to be very difficult to actually attack and to end this game. You know, if Dia's just going to have so much, by the time FanTaSy pushes in, there's going to be upgrade leads, there's going to be so many. I mean, there's just tons of Adepts. They have Resonating Glaives as well, so they can just shit on top of an army and just shut this down. Widowmines do pick off all the Phoenix, so that's something at least. Phoenix would have been nice in the fight to pick up Widowmines as they get burrowed, or to pick up the tanks once they're sieged. Take them out of the engagement a little bit. And a couple of Odessa's going to be shading forwards and looking to try and... Thinking about jumping on, I mean, it's just a threat, right? It forces a siege up, it forces mines to burrow, it slows down the attack. Every little slowdown you make happen is just a few more units you get out as part of your defense. The little while longer, you're up 20 workers, so you're producing so much more. Depths again, rotate again, although that's a dead immortal caught by the concussive shells. Revelation was just refreshed, so all of those mines are visible. Some of them might be targetable as they get burrowed here, as I think this time maybe Dia is actually going to commit into this. The Adepts are coming through. First Widowmine shots are very good though. Jumps on top of this army now with the Adepts, and honestly FanTaSy's taking a hell of a fight because these Adepts just took so much damage to the Widowmines. FanTaSy, from like 30, 40 supply down, is just going to crush this army, and Dia has just lost everything. What on earth was this? As we see a few more Death warping in. I mean, +2 just finished up from Dia. FanTaSy has 75 to 40 army supply though, so he definitely has enough to keep on fighting. I mean, Dia doesn't have any armor upgrades, so those +1 Marines and Marauders actually do a lot against those Adepts. The Colossus now shows up. It's not over yet for Dia, but by God, is he in such a tough position compared to what he was in. didn't think those +1 units would do so well. Obviously, the Widow Mines had amazing shots on the Adepts. Because what happened was the Widow Mines went off all on the Adepts without any friendly fire. Usually if the Adepts shade on top of bio units, what you have happen is you can split the shades a bit to minimize your own damage. And then because you're on top of the bio, the Widow Mines friendly fire is absolutely insane. So Dia really just didn't engage this as he probably should have done. I think he got a bit overeager. And just sort of, again, was attacking in. Maybe didn't expect the Widow Mines to go off so quick. Now, SCVs are pulled into this now as well, as FanTaSy will try and end this. So here we go. This is the push that will really decide things. There's Colossus here now. He warped in sentries, knowing he'd need to hold this bio back. Obviously, a lot of SCVs going down for FanTaSy here. Stalkers will try and blink for those Liberators. We'll get one. We'll look for the other. Continue to warp into depths. FanTaSy will not have enough to break through this in the end. I mean, the fact that these Colossus are here are absolute game changers. And the fact that FanTaSy's army is withered down a little bit means that Dia has enough to hold on. But man, that was